Let me tell you, a few years ago, we started a design capability inside PepsiCo. What do I mean by design capability? And I have to tell you a little story before I bring you into the design loop.
I love how when you tee up a story, you ask a rhetorical question. What do I mean by this? And so you're wondering, what does she mean by that? And then she tells you that she's going to tell a story up front before she actually does. So you're setting your audience's expectations. They know what they're about to listen to next. That keeps them engaged.
When I first became CEO in 2006, as I looked at our products, I looked at our packaging, I looked at how we put things on the shelf, I thought they were singularly all right, and in some cases unimpressive. And I thought that we needed a dash of design thinking in the company.
Love how she's using her hands. She keeps them at her center like this to show that she's composed. And then when she wants to emphasize a key point, like we needed a dash of creativity, she uses her hands and synchronizes it exactly to those words.
So I gave all of my direct reports, about 16 of them, a photo album, a blank photo album and a camera, and I said, for the next 3 months, I want you to go around taking a picture of anything that you think constitutes design.
This is great. She says, I want you to go out and find anything that constitutes design. And she actually reenacts dialogue when she does this. So it brings her audience to the specific scene. They can visualize in their head of her telling her direct reports what to do.
Anything. It could be a pencil, it could be a clip, it could be a teapot, anything you want. Just fill this book for the next 3 months and give me a copy so that, give it to me so that I know what the issues are I have to handle in terms of design thinking. Here's the surprising finding.
Love this. She intrigues her audience by providing that preview. Here's the surprising finding. So now we're like, what is the surprising finding? We're at the edge of our seats. Try to weave in those intriguing previews throughout your stories.
Half the people didn't turn the book in at all.
Half the people didn't turn it in. Okay, that's surprising. And then she pauses it, and then she repeats herself to emphasize how jarring that is that half of her direct reports didn't do the assignment.
The few that turned it in, a few of them had their wives fill it in for them. 2 executives hired a professional designer to fill the book in and told me they did. But the few that actually filled in the book, I still have them with me as a memento of how bad we were. It was a horror because what they thought was design was not what design was. So let me now tell you what is design. To me, design is something that you embed into a product or a service or an offering that romances the consumer and draws them to the shelf or to the product or to the service or whatever it is. It's how you think about the shape of the product, how it's presented, how it's talked about, not just the color of the package, everything in terms of the experience that actually draws the consumer in.
This is great. She clearly indicates at the very end a signpost of, now let me tell you what design thinking is. And then she articulates it in a beautiful definition. It brings the consumer in. And when you can end your story with a key learning or takeaway for your audience, and sometimes repeat that learning after you've given it to them, that will stick much more with them.